Drink your water. There's no reason not to be drinking water. You can take it anywhere you go. So these are the things that I like to do when I'm sick. I can go back to work and feel my best and still go about my day. I have a couple remedies that help me to get over it a lot quicker. One of the remedies I like to do is drinking a lemon tea. So I'll add a little bit of water, mainly lemon juice. I like to use a teaspoon of ginger. I also have allergies, so I prefer to use local honey. And I like to add 2 big spoonfuls of honey to my ginger tea. It's really good. And this works really well, like this knocks out my cold and flu every time. My friend Bastion shared this amazing ginger tea recipe with me. I'm gonna go ahead and leave his Instagram account below if you're into fitness and healthy food options. He talks a lot about that. But sometimes I do get tired of having the ginger lemon water tea. Another remedy I like to drink is canela, which is so good. I have always had canela growing up when I was sick. My family, they really like it, not as strong as I do, so they'll dilute it with water, but I like it very strong. So I'll keep it as is, and the hue is very dark in color. I let it boil for about 30 minutes. And when it's dark in color, that's when I know it's ready and it's finished. And I'll add a spoonful of honey, but if I'm out of honey, then I'll add monk fruit sugar. One of the main reasons why I gravitate more towards honey is it's naturally sweet, but not only that, it has antibiotic properties, which is something I really need when I'm sick. I can still sweeten up my drinks without causing any further harm to my body, because white sugar, cane sugar, feeds bacteria and germs, because that's the opposite of what I want to do when I have a flu. So that's why I'm using the monk fruit sugar. It's very similar to the taste of cane sugar. I also like to take elderberry. These are really good for the body and they contain high amounts of vitamin C. I also love to take Irish sea moss. Our body is actually made up of 102 minerals, and Irish sea moss contains 92 of those minerals. And luckily, I can find it at a local health food store that carries wildly harvested organic sea moss. So this is Irish sea moss. I love that out of those 92 minerals, one of those is potassium chloride, which is something that really helps to decongest and break up mucus. Because when I'm sick, I'm just very clogged up and runny nose and sinus pressure and things like that, and it just helps me to breathe better. In the past, Irish sea moss was actually used to cure like common colds and pneumonia and bronchitis. I really prefer to use like natural remedies. Irish sea moss is actually an algae that grows on the coastline. In the US, I believe it's sourced from Massachusetts. If it's being sourced from the ocean, then there's already natural sea salt that's preserving the Irish sea moss versus you getting it from a farm and there's no natural sea salt, and then they have to add white table salt to preserve it, and then when you get your package of sea moss, it's covered in table salt, which is very bad for us. So make sure that you purchase Wally Harvest sea moss and not farm-grown sea moss. Also, Irish sea moss is an amazing superfood. It helps with collagen, and when I'm sick, since I'm not eating like I normally do, I get a little bit thinner and a little bit sunken in my face. And so when I'm like getting like really thin in my face and everything, and I'm drinking this on a regular basis, it plumps everything back up and I feel like my regular self again, like nice and healthy. This helps with achy muscles, and when I'm in pain and I feel achy, because normally like the first 2 days me being sick, I can tell like right away because my body just feels very sore, and so I'll immediately make my Irish sea moss drink and it helps me to feel better. This is also really good for someone who bodybuilds because it also aids with muscle pain relief and joint pain relief. This also has antibacterial and antiviral properties. For me, this is almost like a treat too, because I don't like drinking the same thing like every day. And so since this is really creamy and frothy, it's like a latte. And so even though I'm sick, I'm able to have that, you know, that treat. Even though it's helping me to get better, it feels like a treat. So it's a nice break from, you know, cinnamon or ginger tea.
So let me show you how I make this. I like to start off with boiling some water. I'll grab 2 fresh sticks of cinnamon. Depending on how strong you want it, you can add more or less. And after about 30 minutes of boiling and it's dark in color, I'll go ahead and pour that into my cup. If you're vegan, a really good recommendation I have is using the monk fruit sugar, and that sweetens just as nicely as the honey does. I like to add 2 spoonfuls of honey and a teaspoon of Irish sea moss. I also like to add a splash of ginger. I'm adding whole milk as a creamer, but you could also use a plant-based milk like cashew. I use this immersion blender, and this really helps to break up the powder.
It makes a really nice frothy consistency, so it's almost like having a latte.
Throughout the day, I try to drink as much water as possible, so I'll constantly be going back and forth and adding water and putting it on my nightstand so I can drink it. I really have been liking this alkaline water.
So, I live at Lassen's, like everything I own is from Lassen's. That's where I picked this up from. So yeah, make sure you're replenishing your body with water. Drink your water. Drink your water. So before I go to bed, I pour myself a big glass of water.
I'm really bad when it comes to drinking water, so I like to remind myself to drink water by keeping a glass on my nightstand. I also like to make chicken soup when I'm sick. I'll add chives, I'll add sweet potatoes, I'll add bay leaves, all the spices to make it flavorful. I love food that's flavorful, so when I'm sick, that doesn't change. To make this soup, you'll need turmeric, water, chicken broth, bay leaves, rainbow carrots, celery, cabbage, and sweet potato, Himalayan pink salt, and corn. Now let's get started. I start off with a big pot of water. You can add chicken broth if you like, and then I use chicken breast and I boil it for about 3 hours. I don't add my vegetables to my chicken soup until the chicken soup is fully cooked, and I'll throw in the vegetables at the end. I really think it's important to clean while you're cooking, so you don't have as much of a mess at the end. So they're in smaller sections, so that way when I'm eating my soup, I'm not like struggling with a giant cob in the bowl. This technique is easy. You just kind of keep putting pressure on it in the cob, and then eventually it gets weak, and then you just snap it. In our family, we have always made chicken soup with potatoes. They just help to fill you up faster. I wanted to do the same thing, but a healthier version. Sweet potatoes have high amounts of vitamin C. They help boost your immune system. They help boost your brain function, because when you're sick, you feel groggy and ill. And they also have high amounts of vitamin C, vitamin A. I like to cut my slices down the middle. It also gives the soup a really nice flavor, and the consistency is a lot smoother and creamier. I like to garnish my soup with a little bit of cabbage. I'll just sprinkle it over my bowl, and it adds a little bit of crunch. Depending on what I'm doing, I like to pick up soup at Whole Foods. They have really good broccoli cheddar cheese soup. That's what I'm having right now. I also like going to Lassen's. This really good ground turkey soup that they make. And it tastes really good, and it's flavorful, and like I feel better after having it. Whatever you do, try not to eat sweets and minimize the sugar. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you like my remedies and my recipes. And if you're sick, I hope you get well soon. And like this video if you like it, and click the notification bell so you can see more videos like this.
Melting.